Gauntlet.
Punching their tickets to the Global Gauntlet Finals.
Qualified for the Global Gauntlet.
They are to the finals.
Global Gauntlet.
Hello and welcome back to Splat World Series Global Gauntlet REWOUND, and this is the series where we take a look at the matches from the event that weren't on the mainstream. So today we're going to have FTWin versus ISM Rhythm.
Yeah, well, it's definitely going to be another interesting set that we've already have seen. Splat World Series Global Gauntlet did not disappoint whatsoever, and we definitely want to take a look here at some of those sets that we did. Unfortunately, we're not able to catch on the mainstream. But for FTWin, they're one of the teams that a lot of the North American team knows all the dominance they have been and how long they have been running in the scene. You got Kyo-chan on Bucket, max X power of 3081, pretty good overall, but not the best on the team, come to think of it, because really, honestly, for me, Passion, when you think FTWin, you think of Kyo.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the stuff this guy can do on Bucket, if you've seen his clips, it's actually ridiculous.
Yeah, and not going down the list here, we also have Biscuit, who is the backline player here on FTWin, max X power of 3230 here, playing Pencil and Heavy. Definitely a lot of very strong options that we've been seeing in the meta over time. And then also following up, we got the Slayers, Sam and Bursty, Bursty as support, and Sam as the Slayer as well. Sam, one of the more well-known Stamper players over here in the Western scene, and Bursty, as always, really known for their dualies as well. But for this whole squad at FTWin, like we always say, the dominance has been the name of their game for the betterment of several years, dating back to previous Splatoon games. But they really got their work cut out for them here against ISM Rhythm.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like starting off just with Vivia, we got Vac 96 and the N-Tri, Tri-Slasher Nouveau, 35 XP. That's already, I think that's higher than everyone on FTWin already, so absolutely crazy. But you look down and it's Grando with the Bucket and the Dreadbringers, absolutely sick with it. And we got Goyame on the E leader, 38 XP. Absolutely crazy with it. I think. Oh, I forgot to mention. Grand Roll won SWS last time.
Ooh, that is a very much good point. Grand Roll definitely knows they definitely know the success and also just the absolute amount of pressure that Splat World Series really does demand. Like, they definitely know they have what it takes, but really it's going to be honestly a question here, Passion. Can they keep up with this new format, especially with all the global gauntlets you have to go through, all the qualifiers? But when all is said and done, it is still Splat World Series. Grand Roll knows what the pressure demands from them, but for the side of ISM Rhythm, they definitely have a lot cut out here, especially with Yo-chan Ika as their last remaining member with the absolutely staggering 4,836 X power. Like, you get that high and you really wonder, like, there's so few people that get up that high in X power, and you really just wonder, like, oh my goodness, that's like all you can say really is wow.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. But we are going to get to stage bans now, or the stage strikes now, sorry.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Actually,
can you, speaking of stage strikes, can you real quick run us through basically what that is for us?
Yeah, so I believe first be FTWin striking down two stages that they don't want to play. So first, Ilte Ali out of the way, understandable, and Bluefin Depot, like super good sightline maps for an E leader which the other team has. So I think good strikes from them. So now ISM Rhythm will also ban strike two maps that they don't want to play FTWin on. So Urchin Underpass, yeah, pretty understandable when FTWin's like more short range, more fight heavy, and Marlin Airport, I feel like that's kind of interesting. Like perhaps you get like the leader's best perch spot would probably be the grades that span area, but
yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense with all these picks, especially for the side of ISM Rhythm, because they want to Well, I mean, with Flounder, or not Flounder, excuse me, because Flounder actually is what our Game 1 map is going to be. Keep in mind, these are all Splat Zones only, by the way, for all of these games as well. And this is a randomly picked stage as well, even though all the maps are allowed to be picked here. But honestly, for the side of ISM Rhythm, they can be a bit interesting with the different types of elevation change, because FTWin can definitely play around those elevation changes as we get squared away for game number 1. We see the Tri-Slosher Nouveau coming out from Livia, and there is Goyame on the E-leader, as we were talking about earlier as well. For, honestly, first rollout tips here, we see Kyo trying to already get a early pick on that right side of ISM Rhythm's zone there, but they can't really get anything going, as it is more of a neutral fight in mid to start already.
Yeah, looks like FTWin's going for the trenches first here. Is able to find 2 picks on the side of ISM Rhythm. However, all of them are still alive, and there is a Reef Slider ready on Dreadringer if they respond to slide over to these zones. Like, FTWin's philosophy seems very different here. Like, ISM Rhythm has so much AoE on different teams. 3 AoE weapons and a leader, while FTWin just only has 2, but they're using these sides way more, while ISM Rhythm was using this mid-top area, and it looks like FTWin is gonna pay off first for them, as they're about to get a cooler, so this could be the start of a pretty good lockup for them.
Yeah, you were talking earlier about like how the different types of like AoE we have. We see Kyo on this bucket just doing everything they can to just dominate on the side of that little cubby there. Gets the pick onto Grand Roll, grabs the cooler from their teammate throwing out 2 first. He's trying to do whatever they can, gets the trade onto Livia. They are keeping a good hold here over the side of ISM Rhythm, always making sure they're at least 1 or 2 down. And for the side of FTWin, this is the strong start that you really want, as Pina gets another pick here. The Splashdown comes out, try to get anybody. But with Splashdown, honestly, if you're popping it a little too far away from people, then honestly, you're not really going to get as much value as you would hope out of it. But for the side of ISM Rhythm, they can't really get in at all. It is still just all FTWin right now.
Yeah, Kyo's been holding down this ramp super well. ISM Rhythm just have no chance to get back in, and I think that's just going to be game for them. So, FTWin, super dominant showing in that first game. I don't think ISM Rhythm ever got a cap in, so really well played, especially on that ramp area there.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you. I don't think ISM Rhythm managed to get a hold of the zone at all. And then once FTWin got in, they just kept a good stat. Honestly, they kept a really good stagger on the side of ISM Rhythm. And for them, we see, looking here at all the stats we had from all that, the KP percent, for anybody is wondering, is the kill participation percentage, where basically, oh, like, did you do any damage or anything, or get involved in an assist or anything? Then that adds to your assists. Kyo-chan on a absolutely staggering 50% on that. Like, Kyo-chan really helping out where all the help was needed for the side of FTWin, and for them, that was a very strong, dominant start to this series.
Yeah, kill participation, more like kill participation, because this guy was actually everywhere in this game, just like holding down that ramp super well, even after his teammates like, I think Sam on the Sea Blast went down, just able to stagger at ISM Rhythm for that entire game, and that just allowed them to get that win.
Yeah, no, we also looked at it there too. Also, FTWin always made sure they didn't want to push up too far, but they made the push up at places where they need to be, or where their weapon could dominate more. We saw Kyo in that little cubby there, getting some sloshes up over the ledge, and it was getting some picks onto people. And that's just honestly, like, when you're fighting a bucket in a place like that, really, what can you do? Just like the bucket can just flick over without even a worry at all. And for the advantage of FTWin as well, they can strike 2 more maps here for the side of ISM Rhythm to try and possibly tip the scales even more into their favor, as they do strike down Brine Water and Humpback. Honestly, Brine Water makes sense with the open sight lanes over mid with that leader, especially from Goyame, but Humpback Pump Track is a little bit interesting, considering that Humpback can favor buckets, or just sloshers in general, a little more. But for the side of FTWin, we'll have to see how it works out for them.
Yeah, but we are going to Mincemeat Metalworks, and I believe that the reason they would strike Humpback is because if you look at the ridiculous amount of AoE on ISM Rhythm, like, you have to strike either you're going to strike a backline favored map, or, you know, a ledge favored map. So both are really scary to play on. But now on Mincemeat, there's a whole bunch of ledges there, and all the sight lines in the world for the leaders. So I think this is going to be a pretty scary map for ISM Rhythm to play FTWin on.
Yeah, no, looking at it, and we see, it looks like FTWin didn't make any changes to their comp as well, and we do see the NZAP come out from the side of Livia, And we see Grand Roll. There is the Dreadringer that they are very well known for. Well, at least in my eyes, I know them very much for the side of playing Dreadringer. Olivia popping out a cooler early. Goyame is dropping down to try to grab that cooler and possibly get some picks, and gets a beautiful snipe onto Sam as well. As even though FTWin does get a hold of the zone, they are managing to keep it for the time being. But ISM Rhythm, they're showing a lot of promise here already, and this is honestly what you need to do to respond to the side of FTWin, especially with after how fast Game 1 had ended for them. But for the side of ISM Rhythm, they now are in control of the zone, and with how little points FTWin got on the board, that is going to be quite easily a lead swap for them.
Yeah, ISM Rhythm just kind of took a bit of a back foot on that first push, let if FTWin take initiative. But since they have a leader, they were just able to continuously hold that space, get off picks in mid, and now they're getting a better hold in the zone. And now Grandel over here is holding this essential Grace area. You do not want to let FTWin cross over to here. You do not want to let them get this key area on the high ground. Now just all of them just building their specials. They do have the zap go down, however, which not having cooler could be problematic if FTWin can win their fights. But two do go down as I say that, and now yeah, the clock just keeps ticking for ISM Rhythm.
Yeah, honestly, for the side of like what we're seeing though, like with ISM Rhythm, it is a lot of like I have done unto you as you had done unto me from the past game. They're keeping a very good stagger here, and we see Yochanika doing very good to just try to keep away anybody from the side of FTWin. And with all the members going down and with under 10 seconds remaining, Livia just sitting behind this cooler doing whatever they can to stay out of the sight line of, I believe it is Biscuit, and that is going to be it. And ISM Rhythm takes game 2 back from FTWin.
Yeah, super dominant showing right back there from ISM Rhythm. Just I think they're really able to use that leader and all the AoE that they have to their close advantage on this map. It's like after that first initial push where they just kind of since they're playing a bit of a slower comp, I guess, then they just kind of let FTWin go in. But after that, they were able to steamroll snowball picks over and over again. And yeah, FTWin like almost had the zone at the end there with the splashdown. However, it just wasn't enough. They weren't able to get anywhere close with the amount of AoE that ISM Rhythm had. So that was pretty scary for them.
Yeah, ISM Rhythm, like, we mentioned it earlier, but also looking at the kill participation percentages for FTWin, it's not looking good, especially after what we saw from the previous game, only up to 28.6% on any of the members. A three-way tie between Biscuit, Bursty, and Kyo, and Sam, unfortunately, not really getting a whole lot, but I mean, with that, it's just a little unfortunate for the side of FTWin, but now also with the disadvantage that they have, even though they have the counter pick here, they have to watch as ISM Rhythm is going to get 2 strikes to their name now as well. So they really can think, you know, what can we do to shut down everybody else on the side of FTWin as they do strike down Lemuria Hub and Sturgeon Shipyard. Lemuria, honestly, Lemuria, I'm not a big fan of it, honestly, but for the side of ISM Rhythm, you definitely have a lot of extra terrain to play around, and that is can be a bit detrimental for the side of ISM Rhythm, especially for Goyame with that E-leader. And as we look to see, it is going to be Undertow Spillway for game number 3 here. Another game, or map mode, excuse me, that has a lot of terrain that you can play around, but you still got to be careful because there are some pretty long and open sight lines.
Oh yeah, definitely. When the E-leader is on that glass, it can look at like almost everything on this map. And once you can get to that spine area and start a lockout, it is super dangerous to play against the E-leader. But I do find it interesting that like so ISM Rhythm strike Lemuria and Sturgeon, because I'm thinking they did that because those are more open maps. They want more, you know, funly maps to play on because they don't have, you know, necessarily the most paint in the world. But now we're Undertow Spillway. This is kind of a pretty funly map, I'd say. A pretty choke heavy map in the center area, and now they're using it to their advantage. This leader just standing in the middle, using the sight lanes, and now the rest of them are able to pick off 3, and ISM Rhythm is going to take the first control of this game.
Yeah, that is a very big, strong, a really good start for the side of ISM Rhythm. We see Goyame was playing a bit aggressive, honestly, with some more of the positioning with that E-leader. Kind of, you don't really expect the E-leader to go up that far, but for the side of ISM Rhythm, they know that they want to be the ones that get into first control of the zone, and they do very much make sure to capitalize it. A grand roll. Oh my god, FTWin is all cornered up in the side here, and that is just an easy way to to kind of corner them even more with those strikes as well. But only one member of FTWin goes down. Bursty has to back up to try to get some extra help here. Kyo is the one to drop down. Grand Roll doing whatever they can to see if possibly get back in control or just help support their teammates. And we see Yucha and Ika. We actually, one thing I wanted to point out, they were playing Gambit on this blaster earlier on the rollout. But for the side of FTWin, as we see Bursty just doing whatever they can, saying, somebody help me please, with Grand Roll threatening them so much on the side, and they eventually do go down, and two members go down for the side of ISM Rhythm, and that gives FTWin another chance to get back into this game.
Yeah, FTWin doing a great job. They're coming back, just able to use the side to get away from the leader, and it's going to be pretty hard to deal with as their longest range is the heavy Splat lane, so they don't really have anything to shoot the leader. They don't have any, like, a Zuka or a Booyah at all. They just have to rely on the rest of their team being able to get picks. Unfortunately, their blaster does go down there, and now they are taking down the clock, but all of the specials are out. The strikes come out for ISM Rhythm. They have the cooler out. The splashdown is just going to get one in the corner, just getting the back as well. Super good picks from Yoika here. And now ISM Rhythm stays on the map, but they do have control of mid.
Yeah, Yocha and Ika definitely really putting in the work here on the custom blast. I mean, like, hey, they got 4,800 X power for a reason. I mean, honestly, Passion. But for the side of ISM Rhythm, they do get back into control of this zone. The stranglehold that FTWin was trying to put on them is finally gone. But for the side of FTWin, they have the cooler. They get a forced neutral for the time being, even if it is only going to be short-lived. Grand Roll is going to fall to Sam's blaster, and they're trying to do whatever they can to try to fight anything. They get the splash, and they don't get any extra picks. But it has definitely bought enough time for FTWin to at least flip the zone finally back into their control. And with Sam going down now, and Kyo with this Tri-Slosher does also go down to Grand Roll. This is not a good spot exactly for FTWin. They can hold with 2 here, but it's going to be very tough against this absolute unit of a team that is ISM Rhythm. But they are still at least keeping this zone into neutral and more in their control.
I would like to point out that Biscuit had some nasty picks there on the heavy, just able to hold the zone down for their team, able to hold the fort down, and now the Spellbreaker is going to help extend their momentum, help clear this spine area. Unfortunately, back does go down, and now ISM Rhythm taking control of this glass so that they can get up there and just start checking out all their AoEs, all the slashes, all the splasters, and get the E-Leader out on the zone, especially with the cooler. Now looking to push FTWin's spine. ISM Rhythm with a super good retake to get back in.
Yeah, no, especially, it was very good from them, especially with the fact that they were almost about to give up lead against FTWin. Like, this game has been a lot more closer than the last previous 2 games as well. Yocha and Ika pops the splashdown, trying to do anything. Their teammates play support to help get the pick onto Kyo as well. But Yocha and Ika cannot fall, or will fall to Bursty, excuse me. But no, with ISM Rhythm, they're still doing whatever they can. But no, it is just now Goyame left on this leader. They get the pick, or they get the snipe onto, I believe it is the Wavebreaker. They get what? Goyame, what is that?
Yeah, this guy is just actually crazy on it. But there are 2 down on ISM Rhythm, and FTWin is starting to count down the clock once again with not all that much penalty remaining. So there's only 20 ticks to go. So they really got to get to these ledges. They really got to make sure that ISM Rhythm cannot get back in. Nice pick on the left side there. Unfortunately, 2 of FTWin do go down, and now Goyame here with an aura, my goodness, on leader, and getting another pick. Just absolutely crazy with the kills here, and looks like they do have to capitalize another pick from Goyame. Oh my goodness.
Oh my, Goyame, like, one of the things I think we actually failed to mention earlier going into the set, Passion, was that Goyame is arguably the best E-Leader in the world. They hold the highest XP with unscoped Leader, and they are really making it known to themselves that, hey, Leader is very strong right now, and I'm about to show you it as well, as ISM Rhythm holds off FTWin from a potential retake and a lead swap, and they will take game number 3, putting themselves onto match point now.
Yeah, I think, like, it was kind of looking like FTWin had a good shot to get that last lock out there and possibly flip the lead, but Goyame really just clutched up on that E-Leader, actually just went on a killing spree and pretty much brought his entire team back in. So absolutely ridiculous. And I would like to point out that the kill percentages are also like really high on the side of ISM Rhythm, despite having a leader that's going for a whole bunch of picks.
Ooh, yeah, looking at that is very good. But one thing to not, one thing you kind of want to look away from if you're an FTWin fan is Kyo-chan and Bursty's KDs there. We see they only got Kyo-chan only going 3 and 11 with 2 assists. Probably the most likely from coolers, but also Bursty going 1 and 10 on that 96 gal. I mean, sure, the ink vacuums did really help when they needed to, especially with some retakes, but like that's just, it's a little unfortunate for the side of FTWin, because if you're dying that much, you really can't get a whole lot of value. Your value goes down a lot less than what you could be if you can play for life a lot more. And for the side of FTWin, now their backs are against the wall here, and ISM Rhythm is a lot more in control because once again, they get those 2 extra strikes. Even if FTWin gets the counter pick, their map selection is going to be a lot smaller as they strike off Inkblot Art Academy and Museum D'Alfonsino now, and FTWin will elect to pick MakoMart zones as the game number 4 here. MakoMart, honestly, one of the much more well-known maps from Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3. Now, you see it a lot in tournament map lists. For the side of FTWin here, Passion, what do you really think FTWin needs to do here in order they want to win?
Well, I think they really got to get close to that either, try to get around, especially on this map. It's something where like if you can get around that back right area, you can just kind of throw off the back line. So I'm guessing that's what they're going for here. And MakoMart's kind of a double-edged sword because, well, ISM Rhythm also has a crap ton of AoE. So FTWin's really just gonna have to beat them at their own game here if they want to win this.
Yeah, definitely. So Sam is just sitting here on the left side trying to just draw attention. They were drawing the attention to Goyame, and Kyo sitting here with this bucket on the stack. The stack is really honestly one of the strongest places you can play on, especially for a weapon like Bucky. You always know, like, everyone always says, like, oh, well, MakoMart is a carbon map, but so is for Bucket, because there's so many ledges that you can just play around, and with how Bucket sloshes work, it's so much that it can work around. But for ISM Rhythm, they keep control of the zone. They are through their penalty if they actually had one. I didn't even know if they had a penalty. And with under 65 already remaining, there's a very strong hold from them going already.
Yeah, and they just pop the cooler, so if any of them die, it's gonna be okay because they'll come right back. And Goyame is getting picked on his stack. Is picked off by Sam here. Getting 2 nice picks in mid, is able to pop Aura, and now FTWin has managed to storm back into mid. Just has to deal with this one person here, but it's been kind of a nuisance. But so they are able to get back in mid. However, not that strong of a foothold. Still kind of lagging behind on their stack area.
Yeah, no, Bursty, we see them go down on the right side there. That's another vac possibly they'll have to wait a little longer to work towards. And Kyo also goes down there. They get a little bit pinched by the team, by Grand Roll and their teammate on ISM Rhythm. And with ISM Rhythm already getting through their penalty here to Yoan Icha, this is one of the most dangerous spots for a blaster to be, honestly. You can't you gotta be very careful, but Yochin Ika is realizing the danger. They do drop out as well. Vacuum comes out from the side of FTWin, but no, they can't get control of the zone, and with only just it is Biscuit and Kyo remaining, they have the strikes, they have what it possibly can take to get it down, but no, Kyo gets picked off mid-strike for the side of ISM Rhythm. That is a huge pick for them, and Sam goes down. They can't really do anything else. They're trying to see what they can do. Goyame gets another pick on that E-leader, and ISM Rhythm, despite all of the things that FTWin was throwing at them, they said, no, we still have your number. And even with all this, they close out the series on a 3-1 fashion.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Like, yeah, FTWin just wasn't going to be ISM Rhythm at their game there. Just, like, at the start, I just saw them, the Blaster and Ganro on the Dreadwinger just absolutely hounding that ledge. And that just led to FTWin just getting snowballed for a little bit, and once they were able to get back in mid, like Goyame on the E-leader just able to hold it down.
No.
Yochan Ika on that custom blaster just able to, like, they distracted for such a long time that the rest of their teammates were just able to get back to their stack, get back into mid, and shut down FTWin for the rest of the game.
But for the side of looking at Grand Roll, with that 1000 paint on the dot, definitely putting down a lot of extra paint for the side of ISM Rhythm, over a little over 300 points more than Livia, who finished second in paint as well. But with 20% participation being the minimum for the side of ISM Rhythm, honestly, everybody was making sure to get in when they needed to. And for ISM Rhythm, the teamwork definitely helped make the dream work there as they end up closing the set on a 3-1 victory.
Yeah, FTWin just couldn't get it done there. Just really couldn't get out of their spawn area for most of that game. But that is going to do it for us. You can find me at Passionator. You can find ElectroJ at EJ46SPL, both on Blue Sky. And that's been it for us. And stay tuned for more Splat World Series Global Gauntlet Rewound to see all the matches that you might have missed.
And you don't want to miss any of those, guys. Like, there's a lot more entertaining content coming your way, but for us, we'll be signing off, and we'll see you next time.